right. Hello, world. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 4040 Network. I am your host, Granny She Is, or you can just call me Cheryl. And on this show, we talk about not only life after divorce, we have upgraded it, life after any major event, and how to move forward successfully because life is certainly lifing. So, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. We have quite the show tonight. If you didn't catch the title, it's PsyOps, social media, and the Melanated community. And if you don't know what a PsyOp is, don't worry, we're going to explain it to you. But before we get into all of that, let me allow my handsome co-hosts to introduce themselves. Who wants to go first?
Since I'm gonna go since I'm right next to you, adjacent to you here. So my name is Jay Hawk, co-host with the most. Everybody, how you guys doing? Proudly representing 4040 Network, and also I'm a swing into the CEO of I Am Woe Media Group, Dwayne, aka Big Whoa.
Yeah, the big one, not the little one. You did. It's me, man. Whoa. Dwayne Sutton here, man, CEO of I Am Woe Media Group, host of I Am Woe Podcast, and a plethora of other shit that I just hope that y'all get involved in, because 2025, we coming. We ready to work. We doing our thing. Hopefully, y'all here to support us. But I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't going to show the brand because we ain't getting paid for them, but I'm with the shit tonight. Let's go.
We is with the shits. All the shits, okay? All right, now listen, Lindas, and listen, Lukes, we got some shit to talk about. Woo! Let me tell you, 2025 came in with a bang. And I'm telling you, it's like the media, and social media included, has been hitting us back to back to back to back with a barrage of information, changes. It's enough to make one feel like you're on unstable ground. And I was in school for hypnotherapy because I'm determined to add that modality to my repertoire of things that I do. But I have learned in hypnotherapy, there's this thing called theory of mind, where we are 82% conscious and 12% unconscious or subconscious. And that subconscious is where our flight or fight mechanism resides. Is where we obtain most of the knowledge from when we were 7, from the ages of 0 to 7 years old. That's when the core of who we are is formed. That is instilled within us. And people who study psychology know that can be triggered to where it can keep a particular populace in a certain state of mind. So all of these things that you see happening is there to disrupt the conscious thinking, disrupt your critical thinking, to make you mentally exhausted so you won't fight. We're going to talk about that tonight. But before we get into that, because that was a lot, that was a mouthful, I was surprised to find out that one of the anchors that has been on CNN News for the past 18 years has resigned. His name is Jim Acosta. And I do have that clip for us because he has a message for his viewers. So can we run that clip really quick, Wayne?
By thanking all of the wonderful people who work behind the scenes at this network. You may have seen some reports about me and the show. And after giving all of this some careful consideration and weighing an alternative time slot CNN offered me, I've decided to move on. I am grateful to CNN for the nearly 18 years I've spent here doing the news. People often ask me if the highlight of my career at CNN was at the White House covering Donald Trump. Actually, no. That moment came here when I covered former President Barack Obama's trip to Cuba in 2016 and had the chance to question the dictator there, Raul Castro, about the island's political prisoners. As the son of a Cuban refugee, I took home this lesson. It is never a good time to bow down to a tyrant. I've always believed it's the job of the press to hold power to account. I've always tried to do that here at CNN, and I plan on doing all of that in the future. One final message. Don't give in to the lies. Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope. Even if you have to get out your phone, record that message. I will not give in to the lies. I will not give in to the fear. Post it on your social media so people can hear from you too. I'll have more to say about my plans in the coming day, but until then, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. It has been an honor to be welcomed into your home for all these years. That's the news. Reporting from Washington, I'm Jim Acosta.
That's wild.
Very good, because it was choppy on my end. But this is what he said. He said, if I can pull it up on my screen, he said, do not give in to the lies, do not give in to the fear, do not give in to tyranny. Okay, that at no time is it ever okay to entertain tyranny. And that's what we're facing today. And he made the decision to resign his position that he's been out for 18 years because his integrity won't allow him to be with the bullshit. You know, and that is what is CNN? Don't they lean mostly Democratic?
Well, they're more mainstream, but they are more fair. They're not as slotted or jaded as false news. I mean, Fox News.
Yeah.
So let me throw something in here right quick into the mix, right? So I know that we have this whole thing coming up about deportations and things and ideas about, hey, it's going to be just a one group or one class of people or whatever. Not true. One of my client's friends just reached out and told me just now that she was just pulled over and questioned by ICE about her citizenship. And she's a Black woman here in Dallas.
Yeah, we're going to get into the 14th Amendment rights and what that means, because we know that Trump did try to have birthright citizenship revoked. That's directly in opposition to our constitutional rights. And of course, a federal judge did temporarily block that. And we are going to look at that. Pull up that PowerPoint. I just don't know what I don't think I got it like right at the front. I wanted to talk about this because this is what has led to everything else. And I think it's so much more to come. His order to roll back DEI and accessibility efforts explained. So this is from the ACLU. If you all don't know what the ACLU is, it is the Association for Civil Liberties Union. I think I said that correctly. ACLU. I have to look it up. But they are for civil liberties, fight against what's going on with the DEI efforts. But as you can see, he put that in place quickly. And on the government contracting side of the house, they have ceased all programs that had set asides for if you were a small business, disadvantaged business, if you were Black owned, woman owned, any other type of minority, they're snatching those contracts. They are removing those immediately. Like, so people who are making money on those contracts, they have been affected by that. Okay. If you are a DEI type of contract with the government. Okay. I think I read somewhere online what they are trying to reinstate some of that, or that may be more in line with what happened today with him announcing that he tried to freeze federal funding.
So can I speak on DEI for just a second?
Yeah.
Let me make this clear for everybody. So y'all do understand who's been the biggest, who's, what's the word I'm looking for?
Let me see. The biggest recipients, you know,
right.
Let me guess.
DEI, I guess you could say.
Let me guess.
Yeah, the biggest benefactor.
Puerto Ricans. No.
Absolutely.
No. Mexicans.
Not hell no.
No. Oh, I got it. Native Americans. That's how they got all those casinos, right?
No.
Oh, let me see.
Man.
Okay.
The biggest.
I got one more. Mulattoes. Yes, mulattoes. Half and half. Mulattoes.
Absolutely not.
Negroes.
White
Negroes.
Women.
No. White
Are
women.
you serious?
Yep.
Women. Wait. They were number one. Guess who's number two? White male CEOs.
OMG.
You know what Black folks rank? It's 7 different categories on there.
We're number 7.
Number 7.
We're number 7.
We're dead last.
4%.
We benefit the least.
We're the face. But how do Black people become the face of DEI?
Because that's another word for nigga. But see, y'all be cool with that word nigga, like you're more flexing it. They just finding different ways to call you that. Either
That's all
way,
it
like
is.
Jay-Z said, still nigga.
And here's the crazy thing.
They'll say
I've
it to you on the
seen.
street. They'll say it to you professionally. How you want it? We can say nigga in the street. We can say nigger when we're really mad at you. And if we just want to get into the corporate terms, DEI.
DEI, which is crazy because where
how
I
you want
work at, where I don't work there anymore. I resigned, but where I used to work at, I have never seen so many DEI hires. When I tell you there are so just because they are a white woman, it has nothing to do with their skill set nor experience, which is absolutely bananas. Blows my mind. I know of two in particular that are in very high positions that have absolutely no skill set, don't know policy one, is not familiar with federal nor state laws, but they are allowed to run a person's company. And I can guarantee you it's because they are definitely female and they are definitely white, which is crazy that the people who know how to run the jobs, and I know something too, and it hasn't been talked about a lot with this DEI, ageism is a thing. And I noticed that if you're older and you're white, they're kind of like, especially if you're older white female, man, they are really pushing those women to the side. They don't get the promotions at work. I'm literally working in an HR setting right now. And if you're a young white woman, kudos to you. You're in a great position in America. Until they want you to have their babies, and that is coming. That's another story for another day, because that's coming. Handmaid's Tale is on the way for the white women in America, not for the black women and the brown women, because we already got enough babies. But apparently you motherfuckers ain't making enough babies over there in Caucasity hood, so they about to come for y'all's reproductive rights, because they want you all to make more babies, white ladies. So just get ready for
Gilead.
that. Welcome to Gilead. But for the older white women,
let's go ahead.
Not so much, They got ageism hitting them. But yeah, DEI doesn't really benefit us. So it's just crazy that you're rolling this stuff back.
Disabled people more than us.
Yeah, it did. So they're about to get hit hard. But this is what I have to say to the viewers or the people who may run across this video at some point in time, is this. When you're going to fill out those applications and they ask you for all of your voluntary information, don't give it. Don't give it, or do like the foreigners do that move to this country and always default to white male. Even if you're not a white male, default to white male, or absolutely put, I decline to answer, I decline to answer, I decline to answer.
So you can identify with whoever you can identify with. I identify as a white male.
You absolutely can identify as a white male, and it's quite legal in this country to identify as whatever you want to. So when you're filling out job applications, most definitely identify as a white male.
DNA, and it's a little bit of that in there. We can claim all that. I got like 0.29% somewhere. I'm gonna claim this shit like it's on my text, like it's one of my kids.
Also goes for your children taking the SATs and the CATs, LEAP tests. I don't care. Everybody has the right in this country of America, this free land, to identify as a white male. Please do that. That is my advice. Please take it. Okay, I'm off that soapbox.
I'm gonna see if my father, because everybody always asks, my first name is Ricky, and they was, is it short for Richard? I'm gonna start telling them it sure is.
Absolutely.
It sure is. You got darn right, buddy. It sure is.
Oh, y'all, I got to tell y'all this story from a while ago. And what's up, Ashley? What's up? Ross is on. I always say Ashley 54. What's up, Ross? Thank you for joining us. This is crazy. I know a black guy that bought a house years ago, and he bought a house because he was able to code switch. On the phone, they could not tell that he was a black guy, and he proposed that he was working a lot overseas and he wanted to buy this property and he had the money to pay cash for it. Whole deal went down over the phone. And this was before social media was really a thing. So when he came back to the States and he was able to sign the paperwork, the deal was actually already done. Because they had faxed him all the stuff and all that, and he had faxed it back. He was coming to pick up the keys. And so imagine that realtor's surprise when this black guy walks in and buys this beautiful 4-bedroom, 3-bath home with the pool in the back and all these custom things in it. She's knocked off her feet because she really thought that he was a white guy. It definitely works in your advantage. Use it. You use things to their advantage. Use things to your advantage. We got to start learning to do that as a black community, as a whatever you are. I'm gonna say the collective, because the collective is more than just black people. it's people who rocks with us. We're mostly majority Black, but I got some people that rock in my corner that don't look nothing like me, but they love me. And I know they're genuine people.
We fell for the banana in the tailpipe. We assume that because it's 2025 and we got away with having kids named Dashika and Sarah Nana and all these other exotic names. We said, and now you can wear your braids and your dress. We got comfortable. And we assumed that things were starting to become accepted in this world, not realizing these folks, when they put out that whole Project 2025, was basically making we sick of this shit. We got to get back to making America great again. Now, when you ask them folk, which part, that's the part I don't think people ask them. So which part of America are you trying to get back to when it was great? Because for us, it ain't never been great. But let's go back. So everything that he's basically been undoing, tearing down, if you rip it up and think back to when these things take place, this is somewhere around the 50s, right?
Yes.
We're looking like 50s, early 60s kind of joint.
Definitely before civil rights. Definitely before civil rights.
So he wants to go back to Jim Crow era.
In Jim Crow. But remember, you got some folks, Byron. I'm looking at Byron. What's his name? Byron Daniels. I think that's his name. That said, well, it was a good time for Black families during Jim Crow. The Black family was together when they could vote, and under Jim Crow, it wasn't so bad. Of course, he was he's a Black Republican, and
he sounds like my type of people.
The Republican.
He sounds like my type of people out there saluting the white man and everything. I just want to say I appreciate him so much, Mr. White Man.
Yes, right.
Oh my God, no. No. Speaking of voting, while we're on this nerve, because we got a few other slides to get through. Listen, now we know and we saw from the presidential election in November that the electoral votes is technically what put Trump in the White House. We count towards the popular vote so they can see where the people temperatures lie. D.L. Hughley said something earlier on his show this morning when he was calling Snoop Dogg out for his bullshit. But he said we showed in that election that we can stand together as a community. And we did that. 92% Black women, 86% Black men voted for Kamala. We voted for change.
Black people.
That's 90% of Black people standing together. So don't tell us what we can't do. So he checked them on that. And he told him, he said, listen, 2025, Snoop needs to have a conversation with 2017 Snoop. Okay, because that's an internal thing you're working with. Don't bring the community into that. But I said all that to say this. The Electoral College put that man in voting. Yes, there was some fuckery and some trickery going on. It's coming out now because usually it takes a bit to get to all of these electoral votes. We found out in Georgia and in the state of Pennsylvania that the polls were fiddled with. What did that say? It went up and off so fast.
I'm sorry.
I don't think we're built for Jim Crow nowadays. Way too soft and not together.
We're about to find out. We're about to find out because
we're not even going to get. It's not even going to get to that point. That goes into fear propaganda. We're not doing that.
Everybody can't go, but we have to find those who have like-minded thoughts, those who have like-minded energy, those who are willing to work to get out and do the dirty work that nobody wants to really do. Those who are willing to get on the front lines, that's who you need to start sending yourself around. Point blank, period. And if
everybody's not built for this work,
try to educate people. Educate yourself as much as you can, but try to educate those around you. And if they just continue to be combative and they just don't want it, just understand. All right, cool. Cut ties and move on. Everybody can't go.
Here's what I wanted to say too to that. Electoral votes, they counted them so fast, the fastest I've ever seen them counted on election day. Those were going to Trump too fast. But here's the thing, he got in by the electoral votes. Here's the thing, the midterms are coming up in 2026. That is next year. We have less than 24 months to rearrange the House and the Senate, and we can do it. So we don't have 4 whole years to be waiting around for this man to do what he's going to do. Donald Trump and his cabinet knows this. That's why they are pushing out the amount of changes that you see happening so fast, because they already know they only have a limited time. Which brings us to PsyOps. Pull up that PowerPoint. I think that may be the next thing, because I don't want to get lost. But that we talked about DEI, and that's the first thing that you all have seen, and you're going to continue to see breakdown of I can't even see that because my eyes are so little. My sight is terrible. Can I make that bigger? Yes, I can.
I can
All
help
right,
you out
so
with it.
thank you. Read what PsyOps is, because people need to know this. This is an important slide.
All right, so
I'm glitching,
PsyOps
but yeah.
is an acronym for psychological operations, which are military actions that aim to influence the thoughts and behaviors of people, groups, and governments. PsyOps are a form of political and military activity that use combative means to help win or prevent wars. So, how PsyOps works? You want to start with communication?
Yep.
All right, communication. PsyOps uses a variety of communication methods, including radio, TV, newspapers, magazines, leaflets, and social media. Explain for those who need you to elaborate.
All right, so this is what we're seeing now, psychological warfare, PsyOps. And I'm going to post a video link from a guy who's been in the military for 30 years, 31 years. And he's put up he's put together a video as well as some information to help you understand what is happening to us currently and how to handle it. So communications, what they do is they flood us with communications that are designed to have a gut reaction, an emotional reaction, a fear reaction in us. It's designed to trigger our fight or flight, to put us in a position to not be able to critically think for ourselves. And of course, in America, we've already been dumbed down enough. They don't even teach critical thinking skills in school as they should anymore. Okay. But that's what that is for. It's communication, and it catches us at every level. We stay on social media. We've been conditioned to be on social media. I'm going to also post a link to the Cambridge Analytics documentary on Netflix that covers how they condition us to move a certain way. And that's what that is. So it affects that. And it's really, really effective. Is it not? It's used in other countries, but it's used on us right now. It was used on us in the 2020 election when Trump became president the first time. Okay. Not 2020, I'm in 2016. Yeah, your timeline is flooded with shit. Right. And that's on purpose. And I'm going to talk about Meta for a minute, because Meta, which is one of the largest social media platforms in the United States, and now TikTok too, if you ask me, has already been rolled into that. They're going to become echo chambers for the type of propaganda that's going to be pushed to us. And most of that propaganda is going to be negative. It's going to be fear-based. It's going to be the things that you see now with them making all of the changes. I need for you all to really start being on top of researching what is being put out in front of us, because Trump and his team are going to start spreading a lot of misinformation. You cannot get your fucking news from Facebook. Okay. So I'm about to come
just
off
to
of
elaborate
that.
on that point real quick.
Okay,
Just to elaborate and expand on that point. So for those of you who, if you really want to understand what we're trying to say here, sports fans, you know how you always skeptical about what ESPN might be saying, whether or not it's always real. Treat it the same way. Just because you read it, just because you saw it in one place, go and check sources.
Right.
Is it being reported on multiple trusted outlets? Or is what you're seeing here the only slanted view? Now, they're going to say, well, it's coming this way because this is the truth and the only truth. That's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lie. Because facts, most times the truth is hidden right in front of our face. We just don't want to search for it. Take the time and do your own research. Before we go out and respond to everything or trust this one platform, like even here, don't take our word for every single thing you hear. Go and research it yourself. I bet you 99% of the time is accurate here because we actually do our research here. That's what we built on. We're going to make sure we know what the fuck we talking about.
Oh, yeah.
About it.
Oh, yeah. I want to make a correction. That representative's name is Byron Donalds, not Daniels. So, yeah. So
you're talking about the price.
Factual
Y'all voted for this shit though.
And you're right, Ross. His next comment says, but these tactics y'all talking about are centuries old, though. They are centuries old, but we've been taught to, we're so desensitized in America to this that we think, and we've been trained through school and years and years and years of indoctrination to think that it will never happen in America because we're one of the most powerful countries on earth. That is a lie told to us, okay? We can clearly, we can go back to the Twin Towers falling. Yes, I love The Art of War.
I want to say we all assume we read the. Okay, so like you saying, Ross, when it comes to how old stuff is, like I told you, the truth is right in front of us. We just choose what we do and don't want to see. The Art of War is on print for any and everybody out here, and the way things are happening and unfolding, most of us who've read it, that's how we're able to read through the bullshit. We see the gameplay, but there are a lot of people who don't want to read. And even if you don't like reading, it's books on tape, audio, man. Get the information, man. We got to stop this ignorant shit.
And they have a lot of on YouTube. YouTube
I'm with the shit tonight. Go ahead, though.
We with it tonight. But you're right. It's divide and conquer. We have to come together because Micaiah mentioned something on last week's show. She used a term called intersectionality, right? It's where racism meets classism. So it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. At the end of the day, we have to put aside, what is that called? Politics, like loyalty to a particular party, when clearly both the parties, both Democratic and Republican, are not here they're not here serving the people.
Wait,
like, I don't know what the Democrats are doing right now.
Cheryl, you my offensive line. Let me go ahead and be let me be a goddamn Barry Sanders for a second.
Go ahead.
Open a lane for me. Let me run through it. So you just open it up about Democrats and Republicans and everything. Mm-hmm. So I know we see a lot of shit, and we want to go out here and Republicans this and Republicans that and right wing this and right wing that. You know who's been quiet as fuck? Democrats, the left,
crickets.
The people who actually can fight back ain't saying a word. And I'm glad we got to this point. So let me go ahead and have somebody speak some peace for me. I'm gonna let somebody talk for me real quick. This is the Attorney General for the state of New York.
Does this administration's new policy put people at risk? But it is plainly unconstitutional. The president does not get to decide which laws to enforce and for whom. When Congress dedicates funding for a program, the president cannot pull that funding on a whim. Later today, I am leading and joining with my colleagues, my fellow Democratic attorney generals, in suing this administration to stop this illegal freeze of essential funds for our state. We will not stand for any illegal policy that puts essential services for millions of Americans at risk. And we work tirelessly overnight to ensure that that does not happen. Our lawsuit will seek a court order to immediately stop the enforcement of the OMB policy and to preserve essential funding for Americans.
So I'm so glad you opened that path for me. Because bottom line, at this point in time, let me make it real clear to y'all real quick. Democrats, I'm sick and tired of y'all being quiet. People are scared right now. This is beyond just frantic. This is all out terror that we are experiencing. We are watching the laws, the way the world has worked for us for the last, especially in our middle age of 40, 50 years, of everything we know is tumbling down. Like, what the fuck is this? What did we survive? All the shit that we survived for just to get to this point. What is this? And it's time for y'all to stop being quiet. Start speaking up. If you actually are who you say you are, you got to be combative with this motherfucker. You have got to learn how to play the game. Not his game, the game. But sitting back being quiet, I love what she did. Let me get on air and let me address this motherfucker and his whole right-wing cabinet or whatever. All this bullshit they allowing to happen. Let me address them publicly and let them know we're not taking it no more. I need to see more. We need to see more of that. Again, I'm a registered Democrat, but really I could give a fuck. I'm all about who's going to benefit my people. I really would. If it's a Republican actually gives a damn about my people, that's who I care for. That's who I'm voting for. I could give a damn about right wing, left wing. It's the same fucking bird to me. But what you're not gonna do is with all the power y'all actually do have. I get it ain't his power. Because last time I checked, the president don't really have power, right?
No.
Why
he has power.
He got all the power.
He can veto stuff. He can be the deciding vote on stuff. But we have a judicial wing and we have a legislative wing. Okay, Congress is our legislative. He has executive order. So because the Democrats are so quiet, because I think right now Trump has the House and the Senate. So they have the majority vote in both houses. Here's the crazy part. I don't know if we can even trust Republicans at this point, not to cut off their noses, to spite their faces, because obviously half of America, including the Electoral College, voted for the X, and we are the trees. Like, they're the trees too. They voted to eliminate themselves. Somebody else put it this way. Half of the America plus the Electoral College are the slugs that voted for the salt. You voted for your own demise. Who does that? That lets you know that those PsyOps, that psychological warfare, is working, because people are still like, well, I'm waiting to see what policies he rolls out, because I had to wait for myself to come back in because I saw I froze. I got a feeling that it's going to be better for me and not the other people. And that's the idea. We got to stop having that other people. It's y'all versus us, baby.
Have you seen the people being deported? People coming on here. Hey, listen, I think Trump, you might have made a mistake. My wife got caught up in that. And can you just, because she doesn't deserve, none of them do. First of all, stop leaning into what the illegals are supposedly doing. They don't even have registration. They can't. What the fuck? They pay all their bills on time. They're not trying to go nowhere.
That's
right. They pay all their shit on time. So they not the problem. They don't pay their taxes. Motherfucker, you know who don't pay their taxes? The rich. That's who don't pay their taxes. That's the real issue.
No, they actually pay. They do pay taxes. They pay taxes. They do.
That's what I'm saying.
So they have EIN number, and they
we gotta stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe. And I ain't just talking about black folk. I said, what's left of our humanity is what I have been speaking on. Is what I've been screaming on for damn near a year now. This is it. This is all we got left. Yeah. And at this point, if it's fuck me, then it's fuck you. And that's where I stand. So all you people getting on here crying, oh, they done took my food stamps. How am I feed my kids? Coming from a white woman. That's funny because y'all wanted to make it seem like it was just us, right? All this shit affects us as a people, as Americans. But y'all didn't give a damn about being Americans. You split the country and now you're reaping what you have sown. Don't ask me to feel sorry for you. Don't ask me to give a fuck about the fact that you can't feed your family. Because clearly you didn't when you voted for that little orange bitch. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. I'm putting a drink down for the night.
Yeah. So let me tell you. I'm going to tell you why a lot of people did. What'd you say?
Here's a question.
I was going to... Okay, go ahead.
No, here's a question. Can there be unity amongst these different groups now, seeing that the person they voted for isn't the person who they voted for? Can there be unity amongst these groups now? These marginalized groups?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna tell you why. And you saw my prime example, because that young lady that I posted on the screen, you know, when she spoke up, she finally spoke up. They got this lawsuit going. They put that in motion because pockets got messed with, funding. When you start messing with people's money, and that's when shit get real. So now that white, Latino, all of that can see now, we're not excluded. It's never been about your race. It's never been about your heritage. This is all about your coin. How long is your money? And you start to realize now your money ain't as long as you thought it was. You just as broke as the rest of us. Your 100,000 still look like my 60,000 in their eyes. Your 200,000 still look like the 100,000. Even though you double the salary, it's still the same bracket for them. You broke to them. They not even messing with M's. They on B's. Some of them trying to flirt with the trillion mark. They got that kind of bank. If you ain't in there, that's why you see who the super group is. Trump, billionaire. Zuckerberg, billionaire. Musk, billionaire. I mean, are you seeing a pattern? It's somebody else too, ain't it? They fuck with TikTok for a minute, so guess what? TikTok's gonna be right there on them too. Who on this?
You didn't mention Elon Musk? No musky balls?
They finna buy that shit from China.
Absolutely.
I bet that because China just dropped a whole new AI shit that shut down the stock market. Lost $1 trillion the other day. That's the biggest hit it's ever taken. China dropped a new AI software or something like that, and the stock market took $1 trillion hit in one day. What? Y'all playing? These motherfuckers is playing chess. The United States is not what they think it is. It is not.
I was about to switch devices. Sorry, y'all, but I think I'm okay. Can y'all hear me okay now? Is it still choppy?
Yes,
is it better? Okay, because y'all know my shit do its own thing. It's on its period most of the time. And it's fiber. The fuck? I'm gonna have to switch fiber companies, but that's another story for another day. All right, I'm with you, Wayne, on that for sure. And we'll talk about stocks on another show. We got so much to talk about. We're going to get to that though. Pull that PowerPoint back up because I wanted to stay on point for just a little bit here. So that's PsyOps. Go to the next slide. And just some sample examples of that is what we've seen: attacking social media, hitting us with a barrage of information that is determined to keep us off kilter. Is determined to keep us in fight or flight mode, so we can always be like, okay, what's next? Let me buy all the tissue paper, because remember that shit happened.
Yeah.
That was an example of PsyOps, where COVID hit, and for some reason people thought that there wasn't going to be enough tissue.
Having all the tissue in the Lysol, they couldn't keep that shit on the shelf, man.
So granted.
Yeah.
So are you telling me that the revolution won't be televised because they'll have all control of everything, of our TVs, our internet, our apps? The revolution won't be televised.
No, it can be televised, but here's the thing: you better do your research and make sure you're fact checking things. Mark Zuckerberg just told you on his platforms, on all of his platforms, wherever Meta Universe is, there is no fact checking. Okay, so if you don't do your own due diligence, they tell you in court, not knowing the law is not an excuse for your ass getting sued. You can walk up in the courthouse if you want to and not know without a lawyer. And guess what? They're going to still throw the book at you if you don't know the law. We still need to know it for ourselves. We got to get back to that. So the revolution could very well much so be televised. But you better watch what station you're watching it on, because everybody is not televising it the same way. It's like me, you, and Wayne having a conversation, and one of us is snaking the other and going back and saying, I had this happen to me one time. Going back and saying, just flipping the script altogether. Perfect example, because we see this happen all the time in real life. Years ago, when I first got married, and then one of my ex's friends got married, not to his longtime girlfriend. They broke up. He met a girl and married her within 6 months. Well, this new girl he married, we're all young and we're hanging out. And anyway, this new wife was telling me all about the ex-girlfriend, which I knew the ex-girlfriend. We had kicked it with her and him before he decided to up and marry this new person. Anyway, we're talking about, well, I'm saying we, but I didn't know the girl that well. I'm from a different town. So I come in and this new wife is talking mad shit about the ex. A week passes. I run into the ex at the grocery store. And she says, hi. And I said, hey, I couldn't even remember her name. And she was like, can I talk to you for a minute? And I'm like, absolutely. And she was like, oh, so X, Y, and Z told me you said this and that and the third about me. I was knocked off my feet. I'm like, I didn't know your name until you told me your name. So, of course, it wouldn't make sense for me to have anything to say about you. I just met you. I've only met you like 2 or 3 times. I said, now I can confirm that she said all those things about you. And we can go and get her on the phone right now and we can see what she's going to say. You know, we called that girl up. And, of course, she was stumbling all over her words. She couldn't backtrack it. She was trying to, crab walk it back. And that's how people do. They do that today. They do that on grand scale where you'll see one thing. Somebody could take a sound bite of a whole conversation that a person had and flip it. Like, for example, I think there is a congresswoman on the left who was pointing something out and she pointed her hand straight out to point at something. And somebody happened to catch her while she was pointing. And they compared her arm gesture with Elon Musk's arm gesture, saying, oh, it's the same thing. It was not. She was literally in the middle of a conversation. Because when you see the whole clip, it's her in the middle of a conversation pointing at something. Clearly, it's not even a Roman or a Nazi salute. Unlike Elon Musk, who did a Nazi salute with his entire chest. Not a Roman salute, a Nazi salute with his entire chest. And people were clapping. So I don't know what type of mental delusion, hypnotherapy, hypnosis they are under. But MAGA supporters are indoctrinated and brainwashed to the point that if Donald Trump told them to drink the Kool-Aid, that crazy guy, what was his name? The preacher that they all died together? Jim Jones.
Jim Jones.
Trump could tell his people right now, his MAGA people, y'all come to this convention. I got this special concoction for y'all. It's going to make you a superhero. It's going to make you have money like me. They would drink the goddamn Kool-Aid. I promise you, every single one of them would drink.
What does that make MAGA then?
It's a cult.
So that's a cult. Thank you very much.
It's a cult. Because it's what it is.
Cult. Now, I want to say this before we take a break. Mm-hmm. In the words of Andre 3000, I know you like to think your shit don't stink. But if you lean a little closer, you will realize that roses really smell like boo-boo. Okay? I'm telling you right now, people. Y'all that's so caught up in this MAGA thing, slowly but surely, people are starting to get the weed out. Because all of you who was on the side of things started to realize they telling you, no, you ain't us, because you po. You move. Mm-hmm. And now you're sitting out here stuck alone because you done abandoned everybody, hated on the black people, aligned yourself with rich people, and you ain't neither one of them.
Well, you know what? It's a little bit more than that as well, because Vivek Ramaswamy is incredibly rich, but he got tossed out of the cabinet. He didn't last a day.
He didn't last a day.
He tried to
do a spin on it, say, well, he knew that it wasn't going to align because of that certain thing, so he's going to just run for office and get the fuck out of here.
I mean, he was the only person of color.
I need to go two slides over.
He's the only person of color that was in the cabinet.
One more. Right there. Stop right there.
He is no longer.
You want to take a break real quick?
Yeah, we're gonna take a break before we switch gears and talk about this right here. Birthright citizenship. We about to get on this nerd. Be right back after the break, y'all.
Yo. Looking for great music and dope podcasts? BWNC Radio is where it's at. Black with No Chaser Radio. Download the app now. Come for the dope podcast. Stay for the dope music. Also available on Apple stores and Google Play stores. Welcome to an experience with All That Jazz Entertainment House, where you get great customer service, great establishment, great leadership, great staff, and we mentioned the catering, the ambiance, the vibe. All of this stems with great cocktails, great mixes, great mixologists with a great leader. All that jazz entertainment house. Contact Randy Glover for booking.
Hello, we are back and we are going to switch gears now. Thank you all for your comments. Thank you if you're just coming into the show. We're talking about PsyOps, social media, and the Melanated community and how they are really trying to throw a barrage of information at us, both disinformation mixed in with some truth to keep us off kilter. We're not going to let that happen.
Before we go further, let's make sure we give our girl a shout out. Randy Glover.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
AKA Elaine Dillon. The Dillon's Dive Bar is coming back. We are right now. We just had our round 2 of the refills. This week, a third round of the refills. She will be back in March, first week of March, to get things pumping. So to get yourself reacclimated with Dillon's Dive Bar, go and catch up. Catch those refills. They are re-airing on Thursdays, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. Also, where you gonna find it at? It's only one place. I Am More Media Group on YouTube. Facebook. YouTube. Go subscribe.
And that goes for the 4040 network as well. We're transitioning off of Facebook. And I will tell you all right now, if you didn't know, I am monetized on Facebook, but I'm going to have to forego that and start building an audience on YouTube. My audience on YouTube is way lower. I have, between Facebook and Instagram, I have 9,000 followers. That's a lot.
So we'll remain at the platform, like our personal stuff. We're going to remain there to transition y'all over.
Yeah, to transition.
I know some of y'all slow and y'all like, oh no, why do we gotta go to a new app? Because the current ones, even though they're popular, are letting it be known they don't love you, they don't like you, they just like the money that you make them. Go where you're wanted. I've said this so many times on I Am More Podcast. I will always be where I'm wanted, and they don't want me there. They don't want me on X. They don't want me on these other little platforms that we think are popular. It's time to migrate and go where we at. I think, Cheryl, I shared it with you, and I might share it with you, Jay Hall.
Yeah.
Be Social app is a Black-owned app. Fanbase is a Black-owned app.
Yeah, I'm on Fanbase. I'm enjoying Fanbase.
What about Blue Sky? People keep talking about Blue Sky.
Blue Sky ain't Black-owned, but it is an alternate for Twitter.
Well, so is Substack. I'm on Substack. I like Substack. It's definitely an alternative to X. I like it very much.
But you better not trip. Oh, wait a minute. No.
Yeah. Speaking of going where we are wanted, make sure you download the BWNC radio app. That's Black with No Chaser radio app. Please support. It is Black owned. It is for us. That's another place you can go to get news that has been verified from sources that are factual and fact checked. Okay.
Please do.
CJ Lawrence, who's an attorney. If you follow Black with No Chaser, I think he is on Facebook and on Instagram. He's dropping a lot of good information for us when it comes to organizing in the community. Now, here's the thing about the revolution will not be televised. Certain things we cannot even put on Meta because, first of all, they're starting to suppress a lot of things. I noticed some of the things I post on there, especially on Instagram. I posted something yesterday that got 174,000 views. Posted something politically, it's suppressed. 150 people might have saw it. Maybe.
I ain't gonna lie to you. And I get it too. Some people, they like comfort, they like entertainment over the realities of life. We like reality TV instead of the realities of life.
Right.
Truth is, people, we can't lose ourselves. We cannot lose sight of that which is the most important thing, and that's what's real life, what's happening here. I get it. The entertainment is fun and everything, but at some point in time, we got to put that shit down and fuck it, grow up. We have to talk about real life situations. It has to happen. We need to come together, figure this shit out, and we are not gonna find it out on Big Brother. We are not gonna figure it out on the Bachelorette. We are not even gonna find it out on the Wheel of Fortune. Did you know that? And I don't
Absolutely
care how many
not.
questions Jeopardy wants you to ask, it's just not there. We're gonna have to get into real life. Come get in on these conversations.
You pop that coming up there about Jonathan that he just put on, and Jonathan is trying to conserve his voice. Y'all pray for him. He's been having some issues with his allergies and his asthma, so we're going to keep him in prayer. Hey folks, cooperative economics works. Let's pull our dollars together with our communities that reflect our values, and we're going to have to start doing this. And it cannot be a yo-yo, because one CEO of a hair company said this on Instagram and it went viral. She was like, I hate what happens in our communities. Anytime we have the mainstream that decides they want to reject us, then it's like, oh, let's go run to Black businesses. Let's go support Black businesses. And you support those Black businesses until you get what you want from the mainstream. And then you abandon the Black businesses again. We have to be consistent in supporting our Black businesses. I'm gonna be 100 with you all. I'm not a fan of shopping at big box stores. That includes Walmart and Target. They don't get a whole lot of my dollars because, first of all,
Oh, I'm so glad you went there.
They don't get a lot of my dollars off.
Let me get this out my gut real
quick.
Go
ahead.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be tough, but I got to do it. All right. So, there have been some videos coming out at the Target, because I ain't gonna lie, I was one of the ones who really was bragging about Target for standing their ground on all this bullshit. And then Target came out and said they were removing the DEI situation. And that broke me. That broke my heart, because I was bragging on them and I was bragging on Costco. And I was like, yeah, I'm already migrating away from Walmart. I don't fuck with them like that, no way. You know what I'm saying? They already don't stay open late like they used to. But anyway, I said, damn, we got some Black. I love Target because it's like they promote and push the Black brands. Like, you actually can go to the app and you will find a Black brand section. Like, they actually have something that makes us feel like we're important. And then they pull the rug from right up under us with this DEI shit. And I said, damn, I couldn't be more. I'm about as disappointed as Target as I am in Snoop. Probably more so in Snoop, because of how far we go back. But anyway, then I saw Tabitha Brown make videos. She did the one where she didn't say a word, but she said everything. If you saw it and you was Black,
Yeah, I saw it.
You understood exactly what the fuck she said. But then she said one where she made a whole speech. And it came out. It wasn't just her. There was others too. And they came out and they basically made this known where they're telling people, by abandoning Target, you're abandoning the Black product. And this is what we feed our families on. And so the way it came off, it was like, damn, I feel guilty because I don't want to do that to my people. But then it hit me. Why the fuck should I feel guilty about your decisions? You aligned yourself with them folk. You big as shit. And we all know Tabitha Brown. I ain't singling her, just her out. But I'm using for example. You're big as shit. You can figure this out. You can have an online store where people can order some shit from you. You don't need Target. But you don't want to have a warehouse where you have to have mass production going on, even though that will create some jobs too. But you need to do that to build in your community. And as a community, we got to take care of her if she decides to hire and employ people for that. We got to show up for work on fucking time, do the job exceedingly and abundantly. You feel me? Like, we got to make sure we do these things for her to support her. But at the same time, Tabitha and all the Black creators from Target, y'all don't need Target. Fuck Target.
Right. And I am proud of Tabitha Brown and all the other different Black entrepreneurs that are not only in Target, Walmart, Costco, wherever they are. I think August Alsina's product just got picked up by the outdoor store or whatever it's called, Urban Outfitters. And I know people
don't make your target audience, don't make your consumers feel guilty because they're choosing to align with their people in their community versus supporting you individually.
Well,
Like,
that's
I'm
her
sorry, but
self-preservation. Her
the needs of the
self-preservation kicked
many
in.
outweigh that of the few. Like, come on,
Well,
bro.
looks like you agree with Amanda Seals on that one. Amanda's like, fuck that. Like
And I don't
Amanda
fucking agree with
Seals,
Amanda Seals on much, but this
yeah.
one, I'm like,
This is
I
what
would
she
never, you
said.
should
She said the
never
same
make your
thing.
people feel guilty
Mhm.
about doing what's right by their people. We're
She
finally
said
taking
that.
a stand for some shit, and you mad because it's gonna affect you. You're aligned with them folks, not us.
That's what she said. And here's
You
the
under
thing, I want to
contract, buy your
brag.
shit out. Go out.
I want to brag on a couple of Black entrepreneurs that are definitely in the public eye. And it's only because of Mr. Entanglement. Yes, he has a line of skincare products. He just aligned himself with Urban Outfitters. He has his own warehouse that stores his own stuff. He's doing his own marketing, and people drag him to no end for shit for the way he loves and how he loves. We have nothing to do with that man's bedroom antics at all. That's him. But so far as an entrepreneur goes, he clowning it. He is doing an amazing job.
Hey,
And I
time
also want
out,
to point out,
what you mean the bedroom antics? I don't even know who this dude is.
August Alsina.
That's his name? Okay, shit, my bad. Y'all got me.
He had the entanglement with
Mr. Entanglement.
he had the entanglement of Jada.
Entanglement
I didn't
with
know that was his
August.
name though for it.
There-
It was
Yeah.
August
Entanglement
Alsina.
with
He had a
August.
host. He made a stuff behind it. He made his money off of the entanglement. Okay, don't act like I forgot that shit. Jada Smith and
No. I mean, I knew
August
about the
Alsina.
entanglement, but I didn't know we were calling him Mr. Entanglement.
I don't call him that. I didn't know he was called Mr. Entanglement. But anyway, that's a little side note. And I'm a fan of August. I've always been. I've not stopped being a fan of him because he came out and said he was sleeping with Jada. I'm still a fan of his, and I think he got a boyfriend or somebody he loves right now. I don't know. That's not my
I think
business.
that shit for publicity, bro.
I don't know if it's for publicity. I don't care. I like his music, and I am going to try his skincare line. The boy has beautiful skin. I ran into him in public, and that skin is real. Like that, his skin is beautiful in real life. So his products work. I don't tell y'all. Anyway, I wanted to point out two other Black entrepreneurs that's doing the thing. First of all, Master P. Master P and his son opened up a grocery store inside of a senior living facility in 2021. He wants to make this a franchise. And I remember him talking about it so heavily in 2021 and 2022. I'm pretty sure he's still going to go forward with that because he said that Black people, we need our own. He has been preaching this for the longest time. And he said, y'all buy ramen noodles, whatever they're called, ramen noodles. Shit, fuck it. Noodles.
Ramen.
He has his own brand of ramen noodles, his own brand of chips. He's trying to, work with different companies.
P, look,
Mr.
put
P
your
is
boy
on
on,
it.
man. I will
He is
promote
on
the
it.
fuck out of Rap Snacks. Just get your boy on. Rap Snacks got goddamn chips, noodles, honey buns. I ain't gonna lie to you, my fat ass is waiting on them honey buns. I'm like, yeah, bro.
Well, he's working on that. He's working on getting a brand of Black-owned grocery stores across the nation. And I'm 100% rooting for him because if anybody can do it, Master P can do it. Even he is facing opposition.
Somebody get Master P though, for real though. I
from
would
the
like
community.
I want to be a representative of Rap Snacks. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would love to be a representative of Rap Snacks.
Of Rap Snacks, they're pretty good.
My Black folk. I'm serious, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in pushing a Black brand so hard. I really do. And I fuck with P. I'm gonna be real with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hustler.
He has some other things. Yeah, he has some other things.
He got good vision. You feel me? Like it's never because most hustlers hustle for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't P.
No,
he hustled for him. He hustled to make sure he good, but then he hustled to make sure he feed everybody else. When you go back and listen to the whole No Limit story, everybody on that label will tell you P hooked us up. As soon as we got on, we got a house,
right?
We got a car, we owned our shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing when you come down to being an artist. We got a house, we got a car, and we owned our shit.
Right.
Point blank, period. Pete always looks out for his community, and we need to do a better job. I get it. He's not the greatest spokesman or whatever, but Pete has a vision, bro. Y'all need to.
He does, and we really, really need to back it. When I was excited, I'm like, I'm waiting on the Black-owned grocery store, and it hadn't materialized yet, but it's okay. It's coming. Judy B. Let me talk about Judy B, another native of New Orleans. Now, her products are in a lot of hair stores. I don't know if it's any big box stores. Okay, hold on before we get off the nerve, because I really want to give Judy B her props. She just bought a strip mall where
Judy?
she is Judy B in New Orleans. I mean, in Atlanta. She bought a strip mall. She has a distribution center warehouse that
You talking
she
about Judy
owns.
that's married to the brat, right?
Judy that is married to the
Oh yeah,
brat.
she got a warehouse out
She
here.
has the
It's out in
miracle drops. She has that. She
Hey, I ain't
employs
gonna lie to
people,
you.
mostly Black people. She is on it. So, and she has found a way around partnering with big box stores. Not to say that's probably not in her future plans. Judy B built that. Those miracle drops work. If y'all don't have no edges, y'all want y'all hair to grow back.
Hey,
The miracle
Judy,
drops work.
the miracle.
Okay, she's doing
My
an
wife
amazing
is
job.
the miracle drops definitely work. Judy is a genius when it comes down to she a hustler too. At the same time, Judy made one of the videos, and she's one of the people I'm telling you, you big enough where
Yeah,
you
she's
don't
big enough.
need
Yeah.
you don't need Target. I get
Right.
it. It's distribution, so it helps with you pushing out majority of it, but you still don't need Target, and you damn sure don't need Walmart. You have build you an online store. People will order this shit. They will order it. They will come. If you have it, they will come. And you know that. That's how you got your hustle out there. You don't need them folk, bro. Judy is a genius with this shit, though. But don't guilt your customers. Do
Right.
not do that.
So yeah, and I will give Amanda Seal props too. She said, her biggest audience is Meta too, and she's moving off that platform as of February the 1st, because I think one of Trump's crazy ass announcements was that he would not be acknowledging Black History Month. It don't matter if you acknowledge it or not. 365 Black. We're gonna celebrate Black history every day, all day, and especially next month, and especially in June when Juneteenth hit. Bro, you can act like we celebrating Black history.
That's another thing. They don't fuck with them holidays. You know they finna come for Juneteenth, right? Them corporate offices that actually acknowledge and recognize Juneteenth as a holiday, they finna switch back on their ass. Watch.
Well, the one I just finished working for, they didn't acknowledge MLK Day nor Juneteenth. And we wasn't off for damn one of them days. What are you talking about? So when y'all start making shirts, I want 5%.
You don't just
What
get
you
5%
want
because you
5%
want it.
for?
What you working on?
Right.
Bro,
What you working on?
man, get me in the DMs for that shit. You
All
really
right,
put
let's
in
talk
some work,
about.
let's go.
So that's that. Y'all look, businesses that are in those big box stores, and I know me and Wayne have small YouTube channels. Listen, get y'all life together and start pivoting. That's all I can tell you, because this movement is coming, But here we go. Birthright citizenship, and why this is so important to the only Donalds we acknowledge are Glover and Lemon. LOL.
Hey, let me tell you something. Don Lemon left CNN, and he been working his ass off on his solo platform. I fuck with Don Lemon. He sat down with Elon Musk, and he got into Elon Musk's ass. I appreciate it.
Excuse me, y'all.
I know that's probably like, when you think of Don Lemon, he got in his ass. Yeah, he got in his ass.
He got in his ass. All up in there. Okay, this is why I want to talk about birthright citizenship, because I don't know what got into Trump, because Trump really thinks he's the king of America and not just the president. You are not a king, sir. Sit down. So judge blocks Trump's blatantly unconstitutional executive order that aims to end birthright citizenship. How does this apply to Black people? And I did have a video, but the video was too long and I didn't have time to crop this shit out. So hit that next button. The 14th Amendment, it has to do with all of us. Not only does it protect the rights of birthright citizenship, that means if you were born here and your parents are from another country, you get to stay here. But look at the other things. I need for Wayne or Jonathan to read this because my eyes are not good enough to read it.
Yeah, okay, you see? I got it if you get okay. All right, so what does the 14th Amendment do? Citizenship. I'm sorry, did you want me to read the first part? The 14th Amendment,
read that.
The
Read that
United
first
States
part.
Constitution guarantees citizenship, equal protection, and due process to all people in the United States. It also gives Congress the power to enforce the amendment. So, what does the 14th Amendment do? Citizenship. Grant citizenship to all people born or neutral or naturalized in the United States. I said neutralized when we fucked up. Naturalized in the United States, including formerly enslaved people. Equal protection prohibits states from denying equal protection of the laws to anyone within their jurisdiction. Due process prohibits states from depriving anyone of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. I'm gonna stop right there. Let you do your thing, Cheryl.
Cool. So this man was trying to take away this right. That includes Black people who are descendants of slaves. Do y'all understand how this would affect us, and not only just immigrants who you feel are illegal and their children are legally here in the United States because they were born here? Do y'all not see the bigger picture in just this little bit here?
I do. I know the bigger picture. Do you
Trying
see
to
the bigger
roll
picture?
back 14 Amendment rights, and Jonathan just told us that an ICE truck stopped a Black woman asking her about her citizenship. This is not
But do you
apartheid.
see the
We
bigger
don't.
picture, Cheryl? Do you see it?
Yeah, I do see it.
Native Americans, they have opened the lane for you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Native Americans, they have opened the lane for you legally, right
Mm-hmm.
here. Right here.
And speaking of this right here, you can see that the Supreme Court cases, landmark cases that this includes. But here's the thing, speaking of that right there, when it comes to these ICE trucks going in all of these areas where there are brown people, we have plenty of illegal immigrants here who are from European countries and from the UK who are also here illegally. I know a woman personally that used to work for me who married a man who was from Ireland, and he was here illegally and married her so he could maintain his citizenship, get his citizenship here. However, he turned out to be a shit of a husband, and she ended up divorcing him well before they could make it to the mark for him to get citizenship. And he's still, to my knowledge, running around in America, and he is not a citizen of the United States. It's a lot of illegal immigrants here that are definitely looking like they Caucasians and of the Caucasian persuasion that also need to go. So why are we not getting those people off of American soil as well? Hold on.
Because they not DEI. You know what that means. You know what that means. Jayhawk, you know what DEI mean, right? Okay. I tell you that's a corporate term for still. You know it.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Y'all good? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah. We were just making sure everybody understood what DEI meant. Still, Nick.
Okay, y'all understand. What did he say? Egg rolls, sushi rolls, Asian quartet. What did he say? I don't know.
Ross.
I don't know what Ross is over there
Egg
talking about.
rolls, sushi rolls.
A lot of stuff.
If they born Asian cuisine, I'm gonna lose my. Okay.
No, we don't even have
All
to worry
right,
about
man,
that.
Ross.
That's not a thing. Let's reroute. Okay, so birthright citizenships. Yes, it does leave a door wide open for Native Americans to swoop right in there and say, hey, I don't know if they will. We'll see. Because the natives have been screaming for decades how absolutely wrong everything is in this country. And we know this, but they put them on plantations and they don't let us hear them. I follow Native Americans online, thank goodness. And so I'm learning through the connections I've built online about what's going on in the atrocities they're facing too. What did Jonathan say? While Trump and his administration are playing reindeer games, China is kicking America's ass in GDP and making deals around the world.
Exactly, like I've been telling y'all, America is not what they think they are.
Mm-mm.
I'm saying they like I ain't on there.
Like you're not over here.
They don't give a fuck about me. I'm just being honest with you. That dude wave
Right.
my ass in a minute, so I know what my allegiance stands.
Speaking of China, TikTok went offline. We all know that about a week ago now. Went offline for 12 hours, came back up, thanking Trump for saving the app or whatever the fuck that was. And people couldn't go live on there though for like a few more hours. And I still believe that they were switching the servers. So although TikTok is technically
can you add it back now?
No, you cannot add it back. You still cannot add it back.
That's what I'm telling you. I think they're trying to buy TikTok. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, they are. That is still in the
buy
works.
TikTok because I never deleted the app, so I can still get on it.
I don't think it's getting updates at this
Do you
time
think
until
that
they
that's,
come to
do you,
some
do
type
you
of
understand how
agreement.
despicable that is? That you paused something, had people thinking it was going away, so they deleted the app, and then you immediately brought it back. Not even like you said, it wasn't even a full 24 hours.
No.
You immediately brought it back and then said, well, nobody can download it. That's a game being played.
Well, this is what they said in the beginning when they said that as of January 19th, TikTok is going to go down until they find out if it's going to be sold. Half of it is going to be sold to an American company. During this time that it is going to be not available, if you have the app already, you can keep the app on your phone. However, the app will not receive the regular updates that the other parts of the world receive. That means you will have an unstable version of TikTok until they put something solid in place. Those things are still happening. If you deleted the app or never had the app in the first place, you cannot get it. It's not in the Apple Store. It's not in the Play Store right now. If you have the app right now and you can still use the app, it's not as stable as you guys.
Hey,
Information
like
at this
Jayhawk said,
point,
it's
I
possible the
deleted
apps
the
are
app.
switching servers to American servers.
I
Like I
think
said,
so.
I really
Mhm.
believe they are buying TikTok.
I think so too.
Listen, the Chinese don't really have no value. They don't have no loyalty to no damn app.
No.
Fuck an app. They know who they are. They'll sell that shit in a minute. If you want to pay for it, cool, because that's what you think is important. Fine. That's why I told you they just dropped some AI shit that fucked the market up. They don't give
And
a damn about no TikTok.
And here's the crazy part about
So they gonna
TikTok
make
that I wanted
money
to
off of
point
that
out.
shit.
Let me tell you why. TikTok is another one of those apps that can be used to further their PsyOps dreams. That's psychological warfare, to create another echo chamber, to move the behaviors of the people how they want them to move. Here's what most TikTokers did, especially TikTokers who are not with the bullshit. They got off TikTok, they deleted the app, and a lot of us, including myself, went to Rednote. On Rednote, that's a Chinese app. It's not based in America. It's all the way over there in China. America don't have shit to do with that. Now, here's the thing. The Chinese that we have been propagandized to see as this terrible racist country, not racist, communist country, their citizens are a lot like American citizens. And it's crazy that we got direct dialogue with one another. Let me tell you how advanced China is to America. Let me tell you how advanced Rednote is. I can't pronounce the Chinese word for it, but they call it Rednote. They're so advanced that they knew before we got over there on their Rednote app that TikTok was being shut down. Rednote is the direct competitor to TikTok. Okay. They knew we were coming. They update so fast. They have this app now where they have this widget where you can add on to it where it automatically translates from English to Mandarin and Mandarin to English. They're teaching you Mandarin. They're showing you how they live over there, the cost of things. It is not like we were taught. It's crazy. The way it is over there and the way we were taught that it is over there is not, it's completely contradictory. So a lot of the people that I followed on TikTok are now on Rednote. So it's kind of cool. I'm learning a lot. I do want to learn Mandarin. That is up too. Like we can learn Mandarin. That's crazy.
Mandarin
so TikTok,
is a dying language, isn't it?
Absolutely not.
It's not?
No, half the world speaks Mandarin.
Okay.
Half the world speaks Mandarin more so than we speak English.
Okay, I got you.
More so than we speak English. China, Asia is so big. That's like the largest language in the world over there compared to over here. We're a little fish in a pond compared to like the continent of Africa and the continent of Asia. We're a small fish. But hey, over here, we're told that we're the greatest, grandest in the world. We're the biggest superpower in the world. And we do have a lot of buying power all over the world. They shared a stat with us on Rednote yesterday and their government got some shit with it too. So look, listen, I ain't giving them no fucking pass. They got Chinese people thinking that the gross domestic product over here for us is that most of us make about 90 grand a year.
What?
We don't.
Hell no. Man, do you want to
That's
say if I made 90 grand right now, I'd be set.
Man, that's why most of the world thinks that Americans are fat, rich, lazy Americans. They think we're over here balling. And that is
No,
not the
we
case.
we eat bullshit. That's why we fat. We eat bullshit because that's what's cheap. Did y'all know it costs more to eat healthier? Come on, dog.
Yeah, over here in this country, it costs
In
more to
this
eat
country,
healthier. Not in those other countries, you see? So we have been, it's so much PsyOps working against us all the time, every day. It's crazy. Back in the 50s, they called it subliminal messaging, where they would throw you out a commercial and then they would have messages embedded inside the commercials to make you do a certain thing. They did it all through every movie, every TV show, every commercial. There's product placements, there are hidden messages. They have one message that they're talking to you directly and another message that's feeding into your subconscious mind. So this is a constant thing. That's why marketing, and everyone really needs to go take a look at that Cambridge Analytics documentary. I got to pull the name of it up. But man, it does dive into the psychology of us. AI. They have AI running on our phones through different third-party marketing companies. Not just the government is listening to you. All types of marketing firms have paid for your information and paid the right to listen to you. That's the other reason they want TikTok. So the American companies can sell it to more third-party companies to embed in you to buy their products. It's a whole
I'll say this:
it's a machine.
TikTok has switched. When he came back, I've seen way more advertising than I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it seemed like it's like every two slides. Once I slide up, it's another ad. And it seems like there's more and more ads to sell things, push things, instead of it actually just being enjoying the content that's on the platforms. They try to sneak it in because you have other members who
Right.
are creating the ad and making it look like content, but it's just more ads. It's more ads of products, and you'll see it down at the bottom, letting you know here's the sticker to the
Right.
retail. Like, it's more fucking ads, and so you get it now. It's the same thing. I've mentioned to my wife, Prize
Mm-hmm.
Picks is now, because we couldn't do the online betting and everything here in Georgia. Prize Picks finally opened
Mm-hmm.
up, and now we can. All I did was mention that to my wife. I said, "Babe, Prize Picks is in Georgia." I opened my phone on Facebooks, and Prize Picks is all in my apps. It's all in the
Hmm.
ads and everything on Facebook. All I did was mention to my wife that that we can do it now. It's crazy how this
Do you have
shit
an
works.
iPhone?
No,
Does she have an iPhone?
no, we are team Samsung all day long.
I love Samsung. Well, I know for sure that Apple is currently in court because Siri accidentally recorded like people, and I said Siri and she pops up, recorded people's conversations. And though that was an accident, not Siri, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Siri. And then also, I think on the Alexa side, I'm not sure about Alexa, but I know for sure Apple's being sued because that accidental information that Siri recorded, they sold to third party marketers
Yeah,
and
now
continue to do
that's a
so.
different. So I'm with Samsung,
Right.
but
But
they do
Samsung,
have a
they
thing
do
with
have the same
advertising.
thing, right? Where they
They do
got
have a
that
thing with
marketing built
advertising,
in.
and people, you have to be careful the stuff that you accept and acknowledge.
Hmm.
But it is in there where it tells you where it will allow your phone to listen in and use it for advertising.
Hmm.
Um, but yes, Ross, Prize Picks is like um it's another one of those betting apps. And but in Georgia, we could not bet on any of those apps. So while everybody's out making money, I was over here with my sports intelligence, sitting over here just like, damn, I wish I could do it. It finally happened this year. So it's up now.
Very good.
Um,
The next comment about Snowden.
yeah,
He did try to tell us. Not only did he
he
try to
did.
tell us, he released a lot of documentation for us to look into ourselves.
He did.
He gave us that option. And they tried
He
to kill
did.
that man for it. They tried to take him out. So big ups to Snowden. So there are mobsters that have been taken down by law enforcement using microphones on their cell phones to record. Absolutely, it's constantly recording this little device of ours. There is the mechanism. I think you can go into either on your Android devices and on your Apple devices. We can turn that off. but I'd have to go into my own instructions to see how to do that.
Hey.
We're going to move on. We're going to go over to the next point because I got like a few things in this slide I want to talk about.
In Mississippi, Ross. But I will say this: Jalen Hurts cost me some money. I could have had $100, and I only won 30 because Jalen Hurts didn't pick up 16 yards. But all right, go ahead.
All right, so let's push to the next one. Let's see what else we had in our agenda to talk about tonight. Okay, this is the part I wanted to get to because everybody's all up in arms, right, about all the shit and stuff that he's saying and what's going on, and it's like, oh no, well, Trump will overplay his hand. Be ready for when he does. Now, I am on Substack, as I told you all before. I've long left Twitter that became X. The minute it became X, I already didn't like the vibe, and even though I love Black Twitter, I deleted the app. Okay, so Trump will overplay his hand. Be ready when he does. This article came out January 1st, 2025. Is written by Robert Reich, and I do follow his newsletter. And he has a friend who is a journalist over in Turkey. And a few years ago, Turkey went through the same thing where they had a democratic system and they had a president come in to try to overthrow, disrupt democracy to turn it into an aristocracy or into an oligarch or a fascist system. And she was saying that over a decade, as a high-profile journalist, she covered this that happened over in Turkey. But these are the things that she learned from it. It took Turkey a decade to even get to that point where aristocracy was like right there teetering on the brink of happening. In America, because of our Constitution and all of the cases, precedented cases that we have, even though the Supreme Court may give Trump a lot of leeway, he still has to press against the judicial system, as we already see happening with the judges. The federal judges starting to block some of the shit that he's putting out. He's not going to be able to do it in 4 years, okay? In 2 years, we have our midterm elections where our voice does matter in those. So that's where we're going to need not only the 90% of the African-American community to stand up, but those Latinos that's getting dragged the fuck now, I'm going to need them to stand up too. But we got to do our due diligence and find out who's running, what they stand on, and what they've done now so we can know who to put out of office and who to put in office. So don't panic. All right?
I'll let Ross real quick.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what that means. Which part? What I just said, or the Trump will overplay his hand? Which part?
I'm pretty sure he meant by Trump overplaying his hand, but
the way he will overplay his hand is he's thinking this is going to go as smoothly as he wants it to go, that he's going to go unopposed with every decision that he's going to make. I think he's going to find that a lot of the things he's going to propose is going to be a direct violation of our constitutional rights. And we uphold the constitutional right. Oh, aristocracy. Oh, my bad. Thank you so much. Aristocracy means like the rich rule. Okay.
I'll say this.
The rich will rule America, not
about overplaying normally, because that's what we've seen before. But this time around seems different because Project 2025 exists. And
it's not written into law yet.
It's not written into law, but everything that they said they're going to do, he is doing. He is aiming for it. Now, some stuff can still be pulled back. Like you said, you've seen the Attorney General from New York, she's fighting back, and I applaud her, but I still need to see more and more people, not just Democrats too. Let me make that clear. It's not just the Democrats' responsibility to fight back. You pussy-ass Republican followers who are not MAGA, you have to separate yourself from MAGA by speaking up. This shit is wild. The fact that y'all are going on and allowing some unconstitutional shit. They literally came out and said this whole birthright thing is unconstitutional when it's literally in the Constitution.
Right.
Come on, now we can't sit back and just let this shit fly.
That's okay. That's what I'm saying. As much as you cannot stand Democrats right now, until they have a voice, we give them voice. unless we give someone other than the fucking Republicans that are currently controlling the House and the Senate a voice, this will continue. Our time to make a stand comes in 2026 in November when we switch out who's sitting in these chairs. Our legislative voice must be heard through who we elect. Now, we can put independent people in there if we all push together to put them in there. So as much as we feel like the Democratic Party are a bunch of fucking pussies right now, we're going to have to put some pussies in the fucking seats because I'm going to need the cats to start meowing. Okay? So when November 2026 happens, if we as the people don't stand up and start voting these motherfuckers out, we definitely gonna have a problem the next 2 years after that. Now do you see what I'm saying about
he gonna ride this bitch out, and then they trying to give him a third term too.
But here's the crazy part. Listen.
That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. They're trying to get him a third term.
Here is the thing. That's fear. That is fear propaganda. That is not anywhere in our Constitution. So if we play our part and force them to be, it's not going to happen. That's what this lady is saying. This article basically is saying just that. You become fatigued. You're already giving Donald Trump the power to do what he wants because you're saying they're already moving in that direction. Fuck that. That's the propaganda they're selling you. Don't fall for that shit is what I am telling you. Okay? Don't panic. This shit that they're proposing
is my friend.
The enemy of your enemy is your friend in this case.
But that only applies, like I said, if there's that line that has been drawn between. I've always felt like there's a difference between MAGA and Republican.
There are.
Now, if they don't see that difference and they believe that they're one blended, no, they're not, my friend.
They know they're not one blended. Remember Mike Pence? Mike Pence don't fool with him no more. We have Mike Pence is like a Republican. Let's talk about it. Okay, they tried to lynch that man on January the 6th because he literally said, "Sir, what you're doing is a direct violation of democracy. This is a coup. I'm not standing for this." And what did the mega followers say? Lynch Mike Pence. Lynch him. And Trump has the mindset because he is a sociopath, a psychopath, and a goddamn narcissist all rolled into one. He doesn't care about what means he wins. That man has a single thought to win. That's because his dick is probably the size of my pinky finger, and that's the only way he can get any type of satisfaction is to feel like he's fucking winning. He will steamroll the entire world if it means he's the last man standing and he won.
Well, I would like to say
I won. Everybody else is dead. The whole world is dead, but he won. He's the only one still standing. I won. That man is psychotic. And the people who follow him, although they say they love Jesus, no, you don't. You have bowed down and worship at the throne of Trump. That is your God.
That's where you need to separate your people. Okay.
That's it. That's the separation.
So again, I made a point. There's a difference between MAGA and Republican. What's the difference between these Christians and the Christians you say you are at church? Where do you separate yourselves from? Because you can't be the same. Y'all can't be serving the same God at this point. There is no way. How do you separate yourself? I need to know that. The church versus the whore.
What's the lady's name? What's the minister's name that did the prayer? The Methodist minister who did the prayer at the inauguration speech, and everybody was calling her the Antichrist because she prayed against the bishop because she prayed for peace.
I can't think of her name.
I gotta look up her name.
But they sat there and said she basically forced them to sit there and be ridiculed and everything. I'm sorry, but if the church can't check you, then who can?
Right.
So that firmly lets me know that you believe you above God. You try to make it about like it's politics. That lady told you there are people who are Democrats, Republicans, trans. All the people are now afraid. But see,
Miriam,
like that to Trump because Trump loves power.
Miriam Budd. Her name is Miriam Budd.
He wants people to be afraid. He feeds off of that.
Yeah, he does. And like literally, this lady prayed for everybody. Truly, like that is, she has the spirit of God. She has a spirit of love within her. right? And that's what I look for when I see real true Christians. They walk in love. They really do. They
You're
really
saying this.
do lead with love, and they follow Christ's teachings.
You
People
saying
who are
this, Jayhawk, and I'm gonna respond with this part.
Revelations.
I said this. I said I hope he doesn't win because that means we have a little bit more time. But if he does win, then that means that Revelations is actually coming to pass. Somebody got to be here to fuck the world up. The world didn't just get fucked up on its own. Somebody has to put us in that position. And I think we have just witnessed it. This just may very well be the end.
Well, it's been there for a long time. I mean, it depends
Yeah,
on
but
how
it's now cemented
you.
now.
Well, that's if you believe in Christian theology. Everybody don't rock with that, but if you believe in that, then yeah. If you believe in that, I was reading to my daughters the other night because they wanted to know about Revelations and all of the different seals and when they'll be open. And so basically, like I think if you read Revelations chapter 6, it goes through all the different seals that's going to be open at these different times. And we've come to the part where it talks about all these natural disasters that are going to be unfolding in all of this, and that's like the fourth seal.
So you
Or the
mean like
fifth
when
seal.
California was on fire and the rest of
Yeah,
the world
yeah,
was frozen?
that's like the fourth seal. So if you're reading it, and if you are keeping up with that particular prophecy, then we are indeed in the midst of it. I think there's like 7 or 8 seals. We're smack in the middle of it because we have some other things that are coming behind that. War is coming, and they're going to get to where they're persecuting actual Christians again publicly, and the world is going to rejoice that these people are being persecuted in the streets when they're out screaming and telling us about, condemning the powers that be for the evil and the wicked that's in the world. And the people are going to applaud the evil ones for destroying the Christians in the street. Trust me, you will see the signs if you read the Bible, if you believe in that particular prophecy. Now, I'm not here to make you believe it. If your religion is something else, by all means, that's between you and the God that you serve. Please don't get in the comments and say, well, I don't think that. Okay. All right. That's between you and the
That's
God
supposed to
that
be
you serve.
Ephesians, Ross.
Hold up. What happened to the Ephesian River thing? It got quiet for Euphrates River. Like, I don't know. What river? You got to talk, you got to text, you got to call
We need
Wayne
clarity on that
later,
one.
and y'all got to get an understanding. Yeah, I'm not sure what that one is. But if you read Revelation, that's one. You have a couple of different end of world theories. Some say it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe in the Tao, if you believe in spirit and how energy flows, we create the chaos when we resist, right? So it just depends. And here's the thing, it kills me when people say, oh my goodness, we shouldn't use electronics or we shouldn't get chips in our arm because that is a sign of one world order. That's a sign of the end of the world. At no point in Revelations, and I want to say this for people who believe in the Christian Bible, at no point did John, who witnessed all these things that are to come, did he ever say this wouldn't happen. Neither did he tell us that there's something we can do. There's something you can do to stop the apocalypse. There's nothing you can fucking
Never
do.
said that. Never said that. Because I'm gonna be real. We could be talking about like chips being implanted. How we know the chips or whatever the signs ain't this? Because everybody got one.
Right.
Like everybody, even the 80+ year olds have one. Everybody got one, and we all falling for it. Everything we see, is that real? Oh my God.
Yeah.
And some of us are too stupid to even ask if it's even real. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to
Okay.
start.
Let me Google this. What he said. He says the prophecy was the river was to dry up and the angel's supposed to be in. Okay, hold on, because I'm not still. Okay. I'm still not following.
You mean when there are droughts? I mean, like if you want to pay attention, like let's be real. Global warming is happening.
Okay, Revelation 16:12, the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its waters was dried up to prepare the way for the kings. Let me see what this says. Kings from the east. I don't know what that is, okay? Because I can't go from just one verse. That's
I know
probably
this
one of
much,
the other
though.
seals that are being broken open. So you'd have to go read it. And some of that stuff in Revelation is really hard to decipher. Okay.
I ain't gonna
It's
lie. I
not as
read
cut and
Revelation
dry.
1. I said I couldn't go back. I'm not ready.
You couldn't go back. I've read it a few times.
It's
I
kind of
used
like the Passion of the Christ. You know, I watched it and I was like,
to.
nah, I ain't watching that no more. And I have not watched it since it came out.
I mean, if you're really watching the signs, and it's here's the thing, and people got to go back to the teachings of Jesus. You just can't just jump into Revelation. And this is a total side note. But listen, I grew up in the Church of Christ. And when I tell you it's autonomous to like any other the other type of religions, we live by the first church. We live by that the words of Christ. And it's like a building block. So if you understand that God says he has not given us a spirit of fear, but one of love and of power and of a sound mind, that's where you build your scriptures on. Because if you walk in fear and you try to read the Bible, you will never get through Revelation because it will scare.
The front of the Bible, wasn't it?
It was not, because it wasn't found with it was found with the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Pentateuch and all that, but it was not, it couldn't be verified. So they say it.
So that right there, what you're speaking of, Jayhawk, that lame.
I do have that.
That lame sucker there.
Where's that? I got
Oh, wait, back it up. Back it up.
Back it up. Back it up.
There you go.
So I have this one. This is the Apocrypha. If you can't see this, it has more than just the Book of Enoch in here. And this one I have to use with references because it's really hard to understand some of the context. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I have that one on my shelf. Along with my Bible.
Isn't there a proposed law against masturbation in Mississippi? That lane right there.
Not masturbation. Yeah, let's go there. Let's
dude
gears.
Is and it's a shame he's coming from a black dude. Well, yeah, sorry, a melanated person.
A melanated person?
A melanated person. But he said he believes conception starts at erection.
Yeah. Conception starts at erection. So let's go there. I do have a slide about that. So David Struthers, shout out to David Struthers. There is a black congressman proposing that conception begins at erection. And the reason he says that is because we're always putting the blame on the woman, right? To abort or whatever the case may be. But technically, who has control of the seed? Does the woman have control of the seed or just the egg? You see where he's going there?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, conception begins at erections. That's what
I ain't gonna lie to you. When she say come, usually we listen. Especially if she say come in it. We listen. So she has control.
Men have control too, though. Here's the thing.
Nope, I ain't gonna lie to you. We some suckers for when we hear come in this.
Big simping. Not big simping. But he is proposing that. Of course, we know the patriarchy will not let a law like that get through the books, but it is out there. He is proposing it. And I don't have the information up on it because as soon as I pull something up on my screen's going to glitch. But I am going to have the links to all of this. I'm going to try to put them together tomorrow and have them up. And I have a Patreon for the 4040 network. So these links will be on there along with a list of Black-owned businesses that you can shop at online.
Yeah, we're trying to find more and more of those. More and more.
So we're going to find more and more of those. Put that up.
So you mentioned last week Greenwood, the bank. And I told you I'm with Greenwood and actually on the app because I reopened it. I forgot. Honestly, I don't use it that often. I'm converting now because my actual bank card is about to expire. But I opened the app up and they have a green book on the app. And for those of y'all who are not familiar, the green book is where we kept a list of all Black-owned businesses. Mm-hmm. So they have a green book listed on the Greenwood Bank app. So again, if you're in line or if you haven't gotten in line, get in line, sign up with Greenwood.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do. Speaking of, I'm a Black-owned business. I have to start promoting them now because I resigned my job. I have 1-800-RESUMES-LLC.com. It's coming back online. I'm going to be putting together some courses for that and putting them up on the different sites that sponsor courses, and it'll be on my 1-800-RESUMES YouTube page. So if you need a resume, you know, anybody who needs resume, any type of technical writing, I'm going to also be freelancing that out. You'll see more about that coming soon. And then we have A&R Apothecary. So we'll be pushing those products out real soon as well. So we are indeed Black-owned. Now, here we go with Ross again. You know how much pre-seed we lose daily. That may be a different, that's a different subject for a different day. We are not going down that rabbit hole. We are not going down that rabbit hole today. It takes a lot. I mean, a lot of discipline to not get on Swole or Bust One when she talking dirty. Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask that question.
You know what, sir? We're going to table that. Pull up that PowerPoint. I got one more off-topic thing, and this is just to lighten the mood because this is some heavy shit. Don't do these things here. Don't panic. Do this instead. Okay. We have power. Midterms are coming. Do your research. Let's decide as a community, as a collective, who are we going to put in these seats come 2026? And y'all know 2026 is next year. Literally less than 24 months now. Okay. The time is now. What's my Cash App? I'm going to send it to you in just a moment. Don't disengage as much as we want to. We cannot put our heads in the sand. Okay. Do take a break, decompress as needed, because we're going to be hit with more barrages of information coming at us faster than we can process it. And it's going to be faster than our federal judges can throw all of these temporary stops and stuff at it to make sure the law is being applied to all the shit that Trump's trying to do. And his team is doing that by design. Okay. So don't disengage. Do your research, do your due diligence. Don't fear the infighting, because I think we're going to see that coming real soon. We're going to see some infighting with the Democratic Party. They need to work that shit out and quickly so that we can all get realigned, because we are terribly, terribly misaligned in America with our views, with our ideology, with our party politics. That shit got to stop. And we do need somebody to step up within, if not the Democratic Party independently. Libertarian, I don't even care. You don't even have to have a party affiliation. Could somebody please stand up? We have no time for lambs. We need lions. Okay. And all the protests, even though the 92% have already told y'all, we don't call us to come to the front lines for protests. Don't call us when it comes to identity politics. Don't fucking call us. Okay. We're going to be boots on the ground. We're going to do the work we need to do for our communities. Other communities, not so much. Okay. And have hope and faith. Okay. Don't let the fear overtake you. I did want to go over those, do those things instead. We're going to have a bunch of resources for you on Patreon. Look for that. And what's the next slide? Because I wanted to get to some other things before we close out tonight. Some other shit that I wanted to talk about just on a personal level. On a lighter note. On a lighter note, y'all. Now, this didn't make the major news because this is literally part of our community, and I love tonight's conversation. I love this show. I love the cast. My two favorites, of course, are Keita Rose and Trip. Okay, those
Trip
two
don't miss.
He don't miss ever. And I could watch them by themselves. Like, I don't necessarily need tonight's conversation to enjoy Keita Rose. Keita Rose, I followed her first on TikTok, and then I followed her over to tonight's conversation. That's the only reason I was on there. But they have fallen out because it has come to the attention of the public via Keita Rose and the pretty girl, Randy, what's her name? Randy, that he's not properly paying them. Skip,
you know what? It was the girl. I actually found out about it. It wasn't even Keita Rose first. I found out about it first from a young lady who used to do business with Ace. Mm-hmm. And she has like hair care and skin care products and stuff like that. And because Ace is supposedly such a big advertising genius or whatever. Mm-hmm. So everybody's giving him, even Keita's, and now, you know, they all give him credit for that. He's an advertising genius. Okay. I was always wondering, how did his ugly ass get on the front But anyway, I've always said this. When it come down to ace metaphor, I said this motherfucker's nothing but another Derrick Jackson.
That's what
I
they
said
said.
that from jump. I said that from jump. My girl Erica, Erica Owens, she can shout out her ego. That's my girl. But she can tell you from day one. It's been some years now. I said this motherfucker ain't nothing but another Derrick Jackson.
That's what
That
they
what he
said.
sound like to me,
Mhm.
and he blew the fuck up. But ever since this shit done came out, that's all I've been hearing. He ain't nothing but another Derrick Jackson. I was like, damn, I call it or what?
Did I call it? I called it. Now I do like
Did I
his
call it or what?
he has these cards out called Ace Metaphor, and a guy that I was connecting with a few years ago gave me the cards, and I love those cards. They're good conversation starters. And yes, Keita Rose has a thing on TikTok called "Who the fuck was I working for?"
Who the fuck was I working
for? And she has been on the money. Now, mind you, I watched the live between her and Randy, which is another chick on the show, and she's really emotional about it. I mean, she was crying, and she was like, "I don't mean to cry because,
Randy was cool.
Yeah, Randy was cool. They put their heart and soul into it, but they expected to be paid."
I'm not a Keita Rose fan.
You wasn't a Keita Rose fan?
No, because she always walked her ass right into the stereotype. When black men have expressed frustration about dealing with certain women, she always walks her ass in and proves them right. Every time it comes down to expressing yourself as a man, we always talk about when we're trying to express ourselves, we always get interrupted with some motherfucker who just got to be right, even when they dead ass wrong. And it's always Keita.
Oh Lord.
Always steps in and fills in that role. Pretty as ever. That don't mean shit to me. If you can't listen, I ain't got shit.
I mean, she make valid points on, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
Sometimes she do.
I watch her on her TikTok. I watched her, not necessarily on tonight's conversation. I did not catch all the lives of tonight's conversation. My most interaction with that is when someone will repost a clip of either Trip or what's that other guy on the end right there. I would catch his
Trip don't miss.
Trip don't miss. We gonna listen. I don't know where he's gonna be at, but if
I'm going wherever Trip
I'm going wherever he's going. Just not right now. Only reason people probably came and really watched the show was because of the people that they followed before they got on Ace Metaphor.
She did say, J-House, since you mentioned, she did mention that part about how they told them when they joined this show that they gonna have to quit their jobs because they were touring and shit like that. So I don't really know if she actually was part of that, but I do remember her saying they did tell her, and a lot of them, you're gonna have to quit your job. Now, not everybody apparently signed contracts. That don't make sense to me. If we going on tour, which means legally I'm gonna be responsible for your ass. You gonna sign off some shit, or you gonna get off this tour.
Right.
I understand your money is your money, but even bigger than that, if something should happen to you,
right,
I'm legally responsible because I'm funding this shit. Ain't no way in the world folks just out here running on my dime, and I ain't got you signed nothing. No.
Right. That part. I think she even mentioned that even when they were touring, they had to like foot their own hotel bills and stuff. And yeah, Trip did the internal work. You can tell that Trip is one of those individuals that's internal work. Yeah, you can tell that he is constantly reevaluating himself and becoming the best, the next best version of that and the next best version of it. At least that's what I see when I hear him talking. You know, at this point, every woman is like, where the fuck is my Trip right now? Like, where is this nigga?
Well, but see, that's the thing though. Here's the truth though, and this is why I love Trip. A lot of women have probably had a Trip and they chose somebody else over Trip because he wasn't enough of a badass. He didn't have a slugs in his mouth. He had a dreads. He wasn't 6'3" or up, some shit like that. It's always, the nice guys finish last, and shit is very real.
That's terrible.
That shit is very real.
I like nice guys. I do like tall guys too, but I like them nice.
That's the thing, though. I've heard a lot of women say, he too nice. I'll run over his ass.
Shit, I ain't never said that.
I ain't gonna lie to you. If you could say some shit like that, baby girl, you the problem. You the reason you always been single.
I love a nice man. I love a
Bitch,
nice
you
man,
always run
gentle.
over a man.
Give me
Like,
that.
I need a man to put me in my place. Bitch, you is not some badass 2-year-old. Stop saying that.
Trip looks healed. Yeah, he is. I mean, I like the show, but individually, I have my picks individually. Trip and Keita Rose are two. I will follow them regardless if they're on tonight's conversation or not. I think they're all going to do well. Now, if somebody called Ace Timu Derek Jackson, just like you did. Timu Derek Jackson. So I'm like, hey, he was just called out recently, maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, and it just resurfaced. Another relationship coach called him out for being a fake coach, a fake relationship coach. I forget the guy's name, a really popular guy on YouTube. And now that has resurfaced, that conversation that happened like 4 months ago. And so, yeah.
That's why I said, ladies, y'all got to be careful. Like, for instance, so, I've had different conversations in regards to this whole relationship. I've always been transparent about my situation.
Mhm.
I'm willing to have the open discussion with single people, even though I'm not single. And I'm never going to tell anybody that my formula for how I got to where I'm at is the blueprint you need to follow. Now, I'm never going to do that shit ever.
Right.
But at the same time, it's a lot of men out here trying to win over because they know what the people are looking for, and they want somebody to align with versus actually correct them. They want somebody to align with and side with them versus actually let them know, I get you. And yes, you are a beautiful woman, and yes, you are highly educated, and yes, you are, but your personality is shit. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. So you get folks like Ace Metaphor and Derek Jackson, and they're gonna be your yes man, and they're gonna tell you everything you want to hear and sell you a bag of goods, knowing that shit ain't worth a damn. And now you out here because you've been listening to their ass and still wondering why 6 years later you still single. Because you're listening to their ass.
Right.
They are having the time of their fucking life, breaking all the rules that they telling you to abide by.
Mm-hmm.
Going after the women that they tell you don't be like. While you out here just struggling because ain't nobody bothered to tell you, baby girl, your attitude is shit.
And let me say this. I'm gonna say this because, and this is probably what we're gonna end the night on. But he's right. You need someone who can reflect you and who can tell you about yourself honestly. And another thing that we have to do as ladies too is when we do find somebody who is here, they're respecting us, they're loving us, and they're being honest with us. Sometimes that honesty is a hard truth. And sometimes it's not always the other person. Sometimes it's fucking us. And when they say that, we do need to listen. We need to stop and take a pause because that's the first thing to healing and to getting beyond something that you need to get beyond. Is someone letting you know it and you being hurt about it. It may hurt your feelings that they said you got a shit attitude. Or I don't like the way you did X, Y, and Z. Instead of us getting mad and cutting that person off, why don't we say, you know what? Thank you for that. Let me take a step back because you might have to. Sometimes a hard truth to have you sitting down for, a day or 2 or 3, depending on what the fuck they said. And as long as they came to you in love and said it, because sometimes we'll think they're being mean when they're not. They're just saying, hey, it's X, Y, and Z. Or is this or is that? And I know a lot of women get hurt, and a lot of women my age I've been married. I've been married a long fucking time. I was married longer than I was single. I was married longer than I was a child. That's how long I was married. So don't be rushing towards monotony. First of all, that's just but here's the thing with women who have not been married. They keep trying to put the guy in, they're trying to fit this guy into their perception, their ideology, in their box. And they're not willing to let go of whatever romantic ideology they have to fit this person into their box, to just fit, period. It ain't even a box. I wish people would just get that out of their heads. And women say, well, I'm 50 years old now. I ain't never been married. You've never changed your perspective or your view. You think you're right. You still always want to be right. And because you always want to be right, and you're not willing to compromise and see yourself and let that ego go, you got to go through an ego death to be in a relationship.
Let me add because what
you're going to always be single. Yeah.
You want to know the trick of being a good husband? I always ask men who are married. When you get into you with your woman, you got two options. This is how you're gonna be a successful husband. You want to be right or you want to be married. You can't be both. You cannot be both. As a man, you will never win an argument against a woman. So, unfortunately, as a man and as a good husband, I'm gonna give you the advice. If you don't take it, that's up to you. Now, when you bump your fucking head, then you can come back and tell me, especially if you're a good woman, you had it right all along. Now, me, I don't give a fuck about the whole I told you so. That's not my thing. But after so many times of telling you shit and proving you that I know what the fuck I'm talking about, at some point in time as a man, we get like, you know what? I don't even want to hear this shit because you always want to sit down and talk, but you never want to listen when I tell you the right thing to do. So at some point in time, you get into it, shit might go sideways. You got to ask yourself, do I want to be right or do I want to be married? If you actually have a good woman, you will always choose the latter. I want to be married. Fuck it. I don't give a shit about being right. Trust me, if I'm right, she'll tell me. If that's a good woman, she'll let me know if I'm right. Yeah. But I ain't got to sit here and go back and forth and argue with you and fight with you until the point where we sleeping in separate beds or separate parts of the house, or not even in the same house. I ain't got to do all this shit just because I want to be right. Ladies, you're going to have to get to that point too.
And I don't even think it's already being right. It's like if you have a partner that's balanced, you all balance each other out. You're not going to have too many of those conversations where it's who's right and who's wrong, because you all understand that you're going to go through those ebbs and flows where we're not going to always agree, right? Not always. That's crazy if you always agree in your relationship. It's something definitely going on outside of that. Y'all are both faking it. I'm just going to come put that shit out there. Real people are balanced, and you understand the ebbs and flows of anger and love and passion and disappointment and frustration. You understand that, and you navigate accordingly because you're flowing in the same river together. That's kind of how I look at it. So the women who have never been married and you've been single all your life, please start looking in the mirror. Take a good hard look at yourself, work out the kinks, and make room in your mind, in your heart, that you're going to let somebody in, because you're not always right all the time. And maybe that's why you're still single, because you're sitting up on this shelf thinking you're always right, and you're probably loud, wrong, dumb, and happy. And that's all I got to say. Among all the other shit that we said tonight, we are going to post some links of everything we talked about. They're going to mostly be on my Patreon, and I am going to advertise them over on Facebook because I'm transitioning slowly off of there. I can't just quit it cold turkey. 9,000 followers between Instagram and Facebook is a lot of fucking people. And thank you all for following. I 100% appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. That's all I got to say tonight. I am literally out of words. It's been a long day, very long day. Whew. And so that's it for me. What y'all got?
I just want to say real quick. I'm going to tell you right now, ladies, if y'all keep searching for your ace metaphors and your Derek Jacksons, and you keep saying shit like they know what they talking about, I trust them, you know, they got a proven point. Look at all the followers they got, you know, this, and that. And all I'm going to say to you is really,
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything.
Stop with that shit. Stop assuming that because people are divorced, they don't know what the fuck they talking about. Like when you mentioned Steve Harvey and how he's a 2-time loser in marriage, you people learn from their mistakes. We want to give him all the L's for taking the divorce, but guess what? He been married for a while now. Yeah. He living his fucking life, minding his business. And guess what? I done took me an L in marriage. But guess what? I'm on year 13 of my marriage. I know what the fuck. I learned from mistakes. People who are divorced don't necessarily mean you can't learn from their shit. Listen, just be willing to listen. That's it. I know we out of time. Blessings. J Hawk, throw the deuces for him.